Welcome to Anglosaxon News, here in your favorite channel, Saxon TV. Thank you for staying with us. And with you, Cristian Castañeda, Cristian Chaves. And in fashion news, the diva Carolina Herrera.
Today, we're going to talk about Anglo-Saxons. But first, let's remember what the word Anglo-Saxon means. This comes from Anglosaxon, that came from Latin Anglosaxonis. This word was given by the monk Beda, who wrote that Anglos came from Anglia and Saxons from Lower Saxon. These are parts for modern German. Now, we're going to check on the early Anglo-Saxon history. That's what comes after the Roman rule here in England. Let's see.
The early Anglo-Saxon period covers the history of medieval Britain that starts from the end of the Roman rule. It is a period widely known in European history as the Migration period, and was a period of intensified human migration in Europe about 400 and 800. The migrants were Germanic tribes such as the Goths, Vandals, Anglo-Saxons, Lombards, etc. By the year 400, southern Britain, that is Britain below Hadrian's Wall, was a peripheral part of the Roman Empire in the west, occasionally lost to rebellion or invasion, but until then always eventually recovered. Eventually, around 410, Britain slipped beyond direct imperial control into a phase which has generally been termed sub-Roman.
Oh, that was amazing. But now I have a question for you, Cristian. Do you know what was the Heptarchy? I certainly don't. No? So, let's see it in the Middle Anglo-Saxon period.
Middle Anglo-Saxon history, known since 660 to 899. The development of kingdoms with a particular king being recognized as an overlord developed out of an early loose structure that Hakan believes is linked back to the original feudus. The traditional name for this period is the Heptarchy. The Heptarchy is a collective name applied to the Anglo-Saxon kingdoms of South, East, and Central England during late antiquity and the early Middle Ages. These kingdoms are identified as 7: Northumbria, Mercia, East Anglia, Essex, Kent, Sussex, and Wessex. Anglo-Saxon kingdoms eventually unified into the Kingdom of England.
Aren't you excited about this? You know you are, such as we are. But now, we are going to show you an amazing product that is going to change your life. We are with you, Carolina.
Thank you, Cristian. Now, do you want to have a perfect bikini body? We have our wonderful product, Anglophone. You will be skinny, like me. Now, our witness. Come on.
Thank you very much, Angel.
Tell us.
I'm glad to be here. Oh, I used to weigh more than 100 kilos. Now I just weigh 98. Can you believe it? This shirt was too tight for me, but
yeah.
look, now I can
You
wear
look
it
so
even if it is
perfect.
too big for me. I don't care. Look, I'm so happy.
Thank you.
I'm so
Thank you.
happy.
If you want this product, you should cut it.
Oh, that was so interesting, don't you think, Cristian?
Yeah, it really was.
I think I'll buy two.
Yeah, me too.
But now let's continue with our story. So finish watching the late Anglo-Saxon period.
Let's go with the notes.
Late Anglo-Saxon history, known since 899 to 1066. A framework for the momentous events of the 10th century and 11th centuries are provided by the Anglo-Saxon Chronicle. However, characters, law codes, and coins supply detailed information on various aspects of royal government and the surviving works of Latin and vernacular literature. During the course of the 10th century, the West Saxon king extended their power first over Mercia, then into the southern Danelaw, and finally over Northumbria, thereby imposing a semblance of political unity on people, who nonetheless will remain conscious of their respective customs and their separate pasts. The prestige and indeed the pretensions of the monarchy increased to institutions of government strengthened, and kings and their agents sought in various ways to establish social order. After Edward the Elder was succeeded by his son Ethelstan, who Simon Keynes called the towering figure in the landscape of the 10th century. His victory over a coalition of his enemies, Constantine, King of the Scots, Eogan of Strathclyde, and Olaf, Godfrey's son, King of Dublin, and the Battle of Brunanburh, celebrated by a famous poem in the Anglo-Saxon Chronicle, opened the way for him to be hailed as the first king of England. Many Anglo-Saxon nobles fled to Scotland, Ireland, and Scandinavia. The Byzantine Empire became a popular destination for many Anglo-Saxon soldiers. As the Byzantines were in need of mercenaries, many Anglo-Saxon people needed to learn Norman French to communicate with their rulers. But it is clear that among themselves they kept speaking Old English, which meant that England was in an interesting trilingual situation: Anglo-Saxon for the common people, Latin from the church, and Norman French for the administrators, the nobility, and the law courts.
Okay, so I think we have ended with our story. Now, we have the section in the Anglo-Saxon period gossip.
And of course, with the one you have been waiting for, our diva, Carolina Herrera!
Welcome to our fashion news. Today we are going to talk about the things that you don't know. We saw Beowulf naked yesterday in the street. The hero of the Geats also killed the monster Grendel and his mother. I can't believe. Let's see the note.
Oh my god, you won't be able to believe it. This womanizer appeared naked in the land of Geats. We found him walking down the street, and it seemed he was drunk. It said that after his battle with the enormous dragon, he was upset with all his servants because he lost. Poor. The hero is known as obstinate and selfish. We don't know. The critics have been rising in the last years because of this episode. Besides, this man became an epic poem of all time due to he had traveled great distance to prove his strength at impossible gods against supernatural demons and beasts. This Scandinavian boy might be die if he continues fighting and protecting his kingdom. He should rest in home with his mother. God bless him.
Now, early Anglo-Saxon buildings in England were generally simple. They built small towns near rivers, centers of agriculture and ports. Let's see the houses.
Okay guys, did you know Anglo-Saxon buildings were constructed mainly using timber with thatch for roofing? That's right, and as I said before, they built their houses near centers of agriculture, rivers, and ports due to provide hands of commerce to the town. Also, the stone buildings in both of England by the Romans would have been exceptional, but with the collapse of Roman society in the 5th century, there was a widespread return to timber building, a cultural shift that is not possible to explain by resources of technology. These Anglo-Saxons were too obstinate. On the other hand, the building of churches in Anglo-Saxon England essentially began with Augustine of Canterbury in Kent, following 597. Oh my god, Augustine was too hot, I love him. These important buildings were All Saints Church in Earls Burton, the Brixton Monastery, and Something Church in Sussex.
You should know that our modern English language comes from the Anglo-Saxon language and it's a West Germanic one.
Now, bitches, I'm going to talk about our language. The modern English essentially began with the Germanic language, the Anglo-Saxon. Many modern English words have Old English root because of the Anglo-Saxon invasion in Britain. Old English was not static, and its usage covered a period of 700 years from the Anglo-Saxon settlement of Britain in the 5th century to the late 11th century, sometime after the Norman invasion. In the course of the early Middle Age, Old English assimilated some aspect of a few languages with which it came in contact, such as the two dialects of Old Norse from the contact with the Norsemen, or also known as Danes, who by the late 9th century controlled large tracts of land in the northern and eastern England, which came to be known as the Danelaw. Few Old English words are used nowadays. For example, about, almost, then, more, must, was, were, this, those, and others. That's all, guys.
Okay, that's all for today. Thank you for watching us. Continue, guys.
Okay, thank you, Carolina. So these were our news. Thank you for watching us.
See you in our next emission in 1990 never. And remember, if you can love yourself, how in hell are you gonna be loved by somebody else? Can I get an amen in here?
Amen!
Let the music play!
Quando a bola chega lá, coração fica na rede, na rede, na rede. Olá, olá! La 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 la. La 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 la.
How dare you? Let go. Let go. Let go. Let go. Feel how the planets become one. We take a drum to this and rhythm. Hear the whistle, kick the ball. The entire world soars like an eagle, and we all will play like we dance only today.
Saxon. Saxon.
¿Se todavía está grabando?
No.